A big match in the final week of the season as Gateway and Latrobe boys volleyball battle for the top spot in the section. Welcome you to Monroeville, Pennsylvania on the campus of Gateway High School for some Tuesday evening volleyball as the Gateway Gators take on the Latrobe Wildcats here on Gateway Gators Productions, courtesy of YouTube. Hello everybody and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Spencer Witt. Gateway with a record of 6-2 in WPIAL Section 2 AA standings. They currently sit in the third spot in the standings. Latrobe, on the other hand, is 7-1. Their only loss coming last week on a matchup where they fell to the number one team in the conference, the Mars Fighting Planets. Latrobe and Gateway have both qualified for WPIAL playoffs. The question is, where will they be and who will they play? Now, that obviously matters based on the standings of the WPIAL 2A standings based on their records. So there's two remaining matches left for both of these teams. One of them could come out of this with a section championship by the end of the week. The question is, what will happen based on this match? Latrobe won 7 straight in section before falling on May 4th. On a 3-2 loss to Mars, the Fighting Planets. Gateway has won 3 straight since dropping 2 matches back-to-back on April 13th and April 18th. That was a 3-0 loss to Latrobe, and then a 3-2 loss to Mars. So the Gators looking for some revenge here against the Wildcats. Gateway in the white jerseys on the left side of your screen. Latrobe in the black jerseys on the right side of your screen as the R2 discussing things with the head coach for Gateway. That is Phil Randolph. Phil Randolph has turned this program around. They were stuck in the doldrums for several years in the mid-2010s, a team that had struggled just getting themselves section victories, let alone actually set victories, let alone section victories. Randolph has turned them around, has made them a WPIAL team, WPIAL playoff team. Went 10-0 in section last year, lost to Ambridge 3-2 in the quarterfinals, unfortunately for them. They're looking to go back to those WPIAL playoffs with a bit of redemption. The other side for Latrobe, they fell in the first round last year to Upper St. Clair, 3-2. It was a wild 5-set match just to get out of the first round for the Panthers. And Latrobe, they've got several seniors on their team in their final matches as a Wildcat, looking to get themselves a deep run into the playoffs. And they have familiar competition here as well. So the R2 finally going to throw the ball over as the lineups and everything are in order. Everyone is in proper rotation, and it will be Gateway who will serve first. It's number 10 for the Gators. Getting Coffrin in, we're underway as this one into the ground on the other side from Latrobe. A nice swing for the Wildcats to get the point. First point goes to Latrobe. This one served over by number 11, Sam Kiesel. To the outside for Gateway. That one passed up in the air by the setter, Josh Havrilla. Back over for the Gators, outside. Kept up, Kiesel is there for it again. To the outside for the Wildcats, and Nelson puts that one down and getting the point. Tyler Nelson, the senior for Latrobe. 2-0 to start this set. Kiesel serves this one again. It's too strong on the jump serve. Just a bit too strong. Almost dropped that one in on that line, but the line judge right there to call it. And first point for the Gators. Served over to short serve, but passed up by Nelson. Outside back to him, off the block. Kept up once, twice, not enough though. I believe it's going to be a lift call, unfortunately, on Gateway in that situation. Point for Latrobe. And 24, Rocco Marino will serve for the Wildcats. Marino sends it over outside off the block, and it's right down, but on the side of Latrobe. And a point for the Gators. Credit that one to Noah Pasalinqua for the point. He earns himself as a serve. Pasalinqua sends this one over. It's passed up by Havrilla. Outside, down the line, and they get the kill. It's Tyler Nelson again for the Wildcats. 4-2 early on in this one. Eric Basainani will serve this one over, and it's passed up, and I apologize to the Baisanani, I believe is what it is. Baisanani. The PA announcer absolutely butchering the name earlier. He didn't even get through it. Had a laugh from the Wildcats side of things as well, as this one off the fingertips and a point for the Wildcats. Will be Baisanani that will serve. Off the arm of the libero, and a really good, strong serve from the sophomore for Latrobe. He earns himself another serve, 7-2 early on in this one. Baisanani will serve again, and this one outside the lines. Good eye from Gateway, and a point for the Gators. Served over, passed up, outside, blocked, straight down. It's a big block from the Gators. Credit where credit is due, William Hansman. And more importantly, Alec Dunsmore on the block there. Dunsmore had a big block for the Gators there. To the outside, they're gonna call double hit, actually a lift call, correction, on Hansman. And so 8-4, Latrobe. Served over outside the lines from the Wildcats. Tyler Nelson couldn't drop that one in. Point for a Gateway, 8-5. And a libero, Keegan Kuiper, will serve. Passed up, 11-11, and over to the outside, or the right side, excuse me. And that one's put down by the Wildcats, Owen Ward. Putting that one down for the team in black. And Ward has earned himself the serve. Sent over a great serve. Trying to clean that one up, Latrobe was, but they're not able to. Gateway, this one back over though. Errant pass from the Gators. The Wildcats responding, and they will respond. Sam Kiesel with the point. Kiesel gets the point, and it's 10-5. The Wildcats, the first to break double digits here in this match. Served over, correction into the net, a big swing from Owen Ward, but Ward sends it into the net. And it will be Gateway who will serve. Darius Farrar serves this one over, and they'll pass that one up. Nice play from the Wildcats just to keep that one alive. But Gateway works on offense now. Tipped over, heads up play. Pasalinqua dropping that one in the donut in the middle. Nobody there. Point for Gateway. Served over again by Farrar. 10-7. Outside, the right side, excuse me, by the Wildcats, but it's off the block and then pushed over by Pasalinqua. Marino on the slide, no good. Farrar was there for it. To the right side, kept up though by the Wildcats. Outside, off the block, Passed up again by Marino to the right side. Down the line, a good swing. That's Josh Havrilla for Latrobe. And Havrilla, one of the seniors for the Wildcats, listed as the setter. That has the ability to swing as it's a double hit. Oh, correction, it's a net violation on Marino. Point for Latrobe. And real quick, just want to mention Josh Havrilla, who's listed as a setter / opposite, as this one drops in for the ace for Gateway. Havrilla is also on the Latrobe tennis team, combined with August Lawrence to place second in WPIAL Class 2A double championships just this past week. So congratulations to him, and impressive to be playing 2 sports in the spring at the same time. Something you don't see too often. Also a very good hockey player for the Wildcats. Is this one too far for the Wildcats in that doubles tournament, as my director Lee Schaefer mentioning that Gateway, the Gators, were victorious in that one in the 2A WPIAL championships in doubles. So Havrilla might have a little bit of frustration to try and take out on the team the school, I should say, that him and his partner in doubles tennis fell to just last week. This one passed up into the middle. Blocked by Marino, but kept up by Gateway. Pasalinqua, and he gets that one in between the block. Nice swing from Noah Pasalinqua. 13-9. The Gators, 13-10, excuse me, the Gators hanging in there within 3. Latrobe has had the lead for most of this set, if not all of it, as this one into the air. Put back down by Dunsmore, and that will be a point for Latrobe, who was just kind of scrambling the whole time. And a lift call on the Wildcats. We've seen a couple lifts here lately. Sometimes in high school volleyball, lifts are a bit more lenient than you would see in, say, college or even club level. As this one off the block and outside the lines, point for the Wildcats. But the referees here calling the lifts. Hoping that no one will lift their voice in frustration over not being called. This one sent over by Gateway, rolled over from the Wildcats. To the outside, Pasalinqua off the block. Marino gets a piece of it, but it's back over for Gateway to work on offense. Hansman on the set, Dunsmore. Marino there for it. Outside, pushed over. Kept up by number 9, that's Chase Anthony. To the outside, Pasalinqua, and it looks like a foot violation. Yes, it will be on Noah Pasalinqua. That set was a little bit tight off the net, and Pasalinqua just doing everything he could there to try and get himself a correct attack, but unfortunately going underneath the net. So point for Latrobe is overpass from the Gators, and a nice swing from 25. Eric Bisignani will get the point for the Wildcats, and Gateway will take a timeout here early on in this first set, 16-11. As Gateway, again, the last 2 matches of the season for the Gators. This is, of course, the last week of the regular season for everyone. As you take a look at the WPIAL Class 2A Section 2 standings, again, the Mars, the Fighting Planets, currently sit in first. They're the second team in the WPIAL standings, hence the 2 in the parentheses there. Latrobe is the number 1 team. They have been since week number 1 in WPIAL volleyball this spring. Gateway, they've been in and out of the standings, but currently sits at 10th. And then it drops off after there, unfortunately, for the rest of these teams. Derry, Armstrong, and Deer Lakes all fighting for that 4th spot with only a handful of victories between the 3 teams. Latrobe will serve this one over. It's Marino who serves it over, passed up by Anthony. Pasalinkwa off the block. It's outside the lines. And Pasalinkwa tools the block and earns himself the serve. Served over by Pasalinkwa. To the outside. They run kind of a fake with the middle blocker, but it's only tipped over. Farrar pushed over again. Good correction there from from Latrobe, excuse me. Dunsmore, that one passed up and then pushed over again by the Wildcats. Keegan Kuiper gets to it for Gateway. Farrar just kind of reacting to it, a tough play, and the Wildcats there to clean it up. 17-12 in favor of the #1 team in WPIAL 2A standings. In the rankings, I should say, but not in the standings specifically. This one off the net, and unfortunately for Bisignani, he does not get that one over the tape, and a point for Gateway. And Will Hansman will serve. Hansman sends it over to the right side, and they get the kill. That's Tyler Nelson for the Wildcats. And Nelson will earn himself the serve. Bounces it a couple times, spins it, sends it into the air. Big swing from him, and that one passed up by Kuiper off the serve, but a double hit, or excuse, correctional lift actually is going to be called on the Gators. Nelson will serve this one again. Tough touch there, though. That one out of bounds. Point for the Gators. Nice serve from Kuiper to the right side. Too far from Owen Ward. A little bit underneath of that one, Ward did as well. And a point for Gateway. Served over again. To the outside. Kuiper, that's a nice dig from him. Farrar, another player there as well for Gateway. To the outside. Kuiper again gets an arm on that one. Didn't know where it went. Pasalinkwa, though, in the net, and Kuiper, really good plays from the libero there for Gateway, keeping that rally alive multiple times. But it was too much for Gateway. Served over again. Pasalinkwa passes it up. Farrar off the block, off the fist of Tyler Nelson. And Marino just sends a free ball over to the right side. That one off of the block, and a point for Gateway. And Farrar will serve for the Gators. Darius Farrar, sophomore, gets the ace. Not sure if Latrobe called their seams or not, because both players looking at that one as it drops in between each other. And Farrar with an ace for the Gators. 3 points here late in this first set, 20-17. Marino throwing that one down, and that's going to be a carry on Marino. Just a little too much. It was an impressive play, but unfortunately not a legal one for Marino. Now it's 20-18. Back over to the outside, off the block. It's out of play. They couldn't angle that block inward for Aiden Coffrin. And Jake Santo. Served over again to the outside. Pasalinkwa, Kuiper on the block coverage. Set over again, Pasalinkwa, blocked down though this time. 24-25. Rocco Marino and Eric Bisignani both there for the block. Josh Havrilla will serve. Havrilla's serve, 22-18. Off the hand, and it's a point for Gateway, 22-19. And the Gators trying to get themselves back into this one. They'll serve again. Served over, passed up. Marino, big swing from Marino, and it's inside the line. A point for the Wildcats, and it's 23-19. We have a 23-19 here in set number 1. Served over, outside the lines though for number 11, Sam Kiesel. And a point for Gateway. Jake Santo will serve. Junior sends this one over. It's passed up by Marino and Kiesel, both there on that one. Almost a dangerous play there for Kiesel. Outside pass to Linqua, couldn't get that one over the net. Point for the Wildcats, and it's set point number 1 for the Wildcats. Marino sends it over, passed up into the middle, Dunsmore. Marino gets a piece of it and then pushed over by Havrilla. Dunsmore again, and he's denied this time by Signani, and that is the first set, 25-20. The Wildcats picking up where they left off here in this one. Again, thank you so much for tuning in here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Your home for all Gateway Gators productions throughout the entirety of the school year. Gateway, the volleyball team, 3 wins in a row for the Gators these past couple of weeks. We'll talk about that real quick here while we have some time. Last week on the 4th, may the 4th be with you for Gateway. They won against Deer Lakes 3-1. And then earlier on, just 2 days earlier in that one, Gateway took down Armstrong 3-1. So that's 2 of their last 3 victories in section play. The last victory they had before that was the match against Derry. They won 3-1, taking on the Trojans. Gateway has just a couple of matches left. We talked about it earlier. The Gators, one more match against a team that they have been looking to try and take on again this season. It is Mars, the Fighting Planets. So Gateway, their last week of the season, the number 2 team in their section and the number 1 team in their section. Both of them squaring off just 2 days from now, and that will end everything for that one. On the other side for Latrobe, the Wildcats, they've got this match, and then they take on Armstrong. The Riverhawks in their last match of the season. The Riverhawks just had a victory in their last match that they played against Deer Lakes. Actually against Derry, correction. Their only victory so far this season. So Gateway, even with a victory today, is going to need some help for getting into the 2 spot in the section standings. But what matters is right now, and it's a 1-0 lead in the set, or in the match, I should say, for the Wildcats. And as both teams come out of their respective huddles, got some new faces on the court for Gateway. Owen Etchegaray is out there. Ryan Hoffner. Getting a high five from the Latrobe player Rocco Marino. Mark DePalma also out there for Gateway. They have a deep bench, the Gators, no doubt about that. Jacob Podlowski is also over there for the Gators. As you see, head coach Phil Randolph talking it over with his squad. And it will be the Wildcats who will serve first here in this one. Specifically, Josh Havrilla, the setter for the Wildcats, sends this one into the net. Tough start for the Wildcats, but of course, plenty of time here in this second set. First serve for the Gators in the second set. Sent over and passed up to the outside. Was it touched? Yes, it was. Point for the Gators. Oh, Pasalinkwa gets the point. 2-0 Gators. Served over off the fingertips of a player, tight on the net, and it's going to be point for Gateway, but the call was it landed inside the line. Tyler Nelson was talking with the R1, just asking what exactly the call was. Hoffner serves it over again to the right side. Nice dig from Kuiper. Off the swing from Kiesel. That one off the antenna. Point for the Gators. Good swing from Noah Pasalinkwa, and they couldn't get the block. Straight up and down for the Wildcats. Although Gateway is not happy with this call. They thought that it was not touched by the Wildcats off of the block, or I should say there was no block. The thing, it hit the antenna first from Pasalinkwa, or at least that's the argument to be made. And to be fair, the Wildcats have a pretty good angle of that one. Right there, of course, head coach Drew Vasevsky, and it will be overruled, so the call does go to the Wildcats as the R1 and R2 talk things over. First point for Latrobe, and this one will be served over. Passed up by Kuiper to the outside, Pasalinkwa. Nice dig from Kiesel. Outside, that one Nelson. Off the block, kept alive. Really good play by Etchegaray for Gateway, and that one drops in. A point for the Wildcats, but Owen Etchegaray will get some high fives after that spectacular play from him earlier on in that rally. Dunsmore in the middle. It's blocked straight down, though. Solo block, Rocco Marino for the Wildcats. Served over to the outside. That one off of block and kept up, though, by Kuiper. Outside, Pasalinkwa. Kept up, though, by Gateway. Off the block, and it's a point for number 12, Ryan Hoffner, as he flexes the muscles. The back row getting the point for the Gators. Not something you see Hoffner do too often, but they gave him the option there. Marino pushes it over into the middle, just tipped lightly. kept up. Pasalinqua rolls it over, but Kiesel is there for it. To the right side, off the block. Marino, nice block coverage. Echegari gets to that one. Pasalinqua down the line. Is there a touch? No, there is not. Point for the Wildcats. 2-point difference now here in this second set. Marino serves it over. Echegari gets to that one, and then Kuiper has to as well. And Gateway out of system. It's just a free ball sent over. Kept up by Hoffner. Pasalinqua blocked down. Big block from the Wildcats. And a point for the Wildcats as they will serve again. Within one now. Marino sends it over. Echegari gets to that one. Into the middle, Dunsmore. Dunsmore could not put that one down. And a point for Latrobe. They're now tied here in this second set, 5 apiece. Echegari passes that one up and then just tipped over, or bumped over, I should say. Kuiper smacks that one into the air, just getting a piece of it. Hoffner, dug up by Havrilla. Free ball sent over from Bisignani. Pasalinqua kept up. Havrilla outside Nelson off the block. Kept up though again, that's Owen Ward. Bisignani, and Bisignani gets the point. Hoffner a little bit out of position there on the release. And the Wildcats have the lead back here in this second set. Served over. This slipping is Pasalinqua. They weren't on the same page there. The setter and Pasalinqua. And Marino will serve this one. Served over. Outside, Pasalinqua, and it's a point. For the Gators. Pasalinqua serves this one. Passed up. Sent over on the setter dump. Pushed over again. Sent over again, and they get it this time as Havrilla puts it over. Nice play from the setter for the Wildcats. 8-6 lead. Outside. Substitution there. Big swing from Diego Valentin. Is this one into the net, though? And a point for the Wildcats. The block just not able to keep it on the side of their intended target, and it's a point for the Wildcats. It's a bad pass, and Valentin couldn't get to that one. Another point for Latrobe. 10-6 now. They serve this one over. Passed up. And then back over for the Wildcats. Gateway, that's Andre Williams, who's also into the match for the first time. Into the middle, and it's blocked, but out of play. One-on-one battle, almost a joust there, and it's won by Owen Ward for the Wildcats. And a timeout taken by Gateway. Gateway came out to the second set with a little bit of a lead, but Latrobe has strung together several points to get themselves not only back in this one, but also taking a comfortable 4-point lead. Excuse me, 5-point lead. I can't count today. Look at the Trib High School Sports Network 2A rankings. Again, the Wildcats #1, Mars right there at #2. Seton LaSalle was the preseason #1s. They're currently sitting 3rd. Hopewell, North Catholic, Ambridge, the Bridgers, always a very good team there as well. Montour, good to see them with a little bit of a bounce back after the past couple of years struggling. South Fayette, 9-1. Not a lot of people expected South Fayette to be that good this year, and they're trying to earn themselves some respect. TJ and Gateway round out the top 10. Served over in this one, outside the lines. The point for the Gators. Sent over again by Gateway off the serve. Pushed over. Kuiper is there for it. Back set, Hoffner. Blocked out of play though. That one's spiraling out. And Hoffner earns Gateway the point. Served over, passed up. Into the middle, and a point for the Wildcats, Owen Ward. Big presence there up front for Ward as well, the sophomore, getting the point for the Wildcats, 12-8. Latrobe will serve. Tyler Nelson spins that one to the air, and Andre Williams passes it up for Gateway. Into the net, though, for Diego Valentin. Nelson will serve again. Nelson, big swing on that serve, but another nice pass from Williams. Cross court, out of play. And Andre Williams, one of two seniors on the team, along with Noah Pasalinkwa. This one's a little bit of a softer serve and passed up by Kuiper. Outside, cross court, nice swing. That time from Diego Valentin, it's off the arm of the libero, Ruben Rojas. Rojas, a senior for the Wildcats. 14-9 is the serve. Nobody there, though, for Latrobe. That's a miscue on where that set was going and who was supposed to be there. So an error from the Wildcats, and Gateway will serve again. This time it's Jacob Pawlowski. Pawlowski sends this one in the air. Outside. Nice dig from Pawlowski. Williams couldn't hold on to that one, though. It's put right back down by Sam Kiesel. And Owen Ward will serve. Ward serve, really good pass from Hoffner. Put back down. That one, though, is Mark DePalma, who pretty much just pushed that one down off that block from the Wildcats. No corrections on the side of Latrobe. I thought it was on this side for a second. Hoffner passes that one up. Valentin. Nelson's there for it. To the right side. Getting the kill is Josh Havrilla. That's 4-on-4 crime right there as Havrilla sends it over. Will Hansman having issues holding on to that one, or having issues dealing with that one, I should say. Served again, and a nice pass again by Williams. That one just tight on the net, and it's going to be breaking the plane. Wouldn't let the setter, no correction. I thought the ref pointed to the right. No, correction, he did point to the right for the point for Gateway, but Gateway was expecting that one to go for them. So the Gators not happy with that call. This one tight on that again, and Valentin just bumps it over. Overpass, kept up though by Havrilla. Nice play from him. To the outside. Dropped in though by Sam Kiesel. And the Wildcats fired up after that one. 19-10. Latrobe up in this one, and too much on that one though. The adrenaline getting to Owen Ward a bit too much there. And Owen Echegari will serve. Echegari sends this one over. It's passed up to the right side. That's Havrilla, and then sent over. To the outside, Kiesel. Off the block, just over top of it. Couldn't place that one more perfectly off the tip from Sam Kiesel, and it's a point for the Wildcats. Served over. Echegari passes it up. It's going to be a double hit on the set there. Too much spin on it. Point for the Wildcats. Served over. Outside, Pasalinqua. Kept up. To the right side, off the block, and a point for the Wildcats. Avrilla will serve again. 22-11. To the right side, Hoffner, too strong. Point for the Wildcats. Serve, passed up. Pasalinqua kept up there as well. Pipe ball off of Kuiper, and it's a point for Nelson. Tyler Nelson on the pipe ball in the back row. And set point for the Wildcats, 24-11. Served too far from Havrilla, who was going for glory there on that serve. 24-12. We have a substitution. Aiden Coffrin comes back in, the freshman, to set for Gateway. Served over, passed up to the right side. Kiesel, and Kiesel drops it in for the kill and for the second set. Latrobe, a two-set lead and a commanding victory in the second set, 25-12. Gateway is going to try and chip away at this lead in the third set. As the Wildcats double them up. We take a look at some of the other standings here in WPIAL Class 2A. This is, of course, Section 1, North Catholic, 8-2 record. Hopewell, the Vikings, also 8-2. Ambridge, 8-2. So we got three teams battling for first place in the section. Montour is just behind them, though, at 7-4 as well. And then Olsh, Our Lady of Sacred Heart, the Chargers, 3-7. Unfortunately, tough times for Beaver County Christian and Bishop Canavan. And both of those teams, Beaver County Christian and Bishop Canavan, have had success throughout the years, as even with the smaller schools that they are, but these past couple of years have been tough for both of them. North Catholic and Hopewell. Hopewell always a pretty consistently decent team as well. Once again, thank you for tuning in here on Gateway Gators Productions. This is the final sports broadcast of the year for the 2022-2023 school year. It's been a long year here. It seems just like yesterday we were calling soccer over at the stadium along with the football team. Again, the final week of the regular season. Spring sports wrapping up. Lacrosse, baseball, softball, track and field, and of course boys volleyball as well. Latrobe, who is looking for the sweep here in this match. One thing to note about Latrobe real quick, I was reading up on the notes about them. They just took a trip to New England for a volleyball tournament. Now every year, normally they go out to State College for the State College tournament, boys volleyball tournament. I have a a buddy that played Robert Morris on the club team with me, Jared, who went to Latrobe and always talked about going out there every year. They hadn't done anything since the 2019 season, so they attended the state college tournament for 19 years, but they decided to try something different. Head coach Drew Vasevsky had talked out with his teammate, or an old player for him, 2008 Latrobe graduate Nikolai Wojciechowski, who is coaching at LaSalle Academy in Rhode Island, also president of the Rhode Island Volleyball Association. So they invited him up, a 2014 tournament. So a 10-hour drive Friday evening. Him and Wojciechowski's team had dinner. They played against teams from New England, New Jersey, and PA as well. They did pretty well in that tournament as well, getting pretty far into the tournament. As the first point goes to the Gators, or the Wildcats, excuse me. Latrobe, one thing I want to mention real quick, just a kind of a correction. I mentioned earlier that they fell to Upper St. Clair in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs last year as an ace for number 11, Sam Kiesel. That is correct, but one thing to note is that Latrobe was in AAA last year. They dropped down to AA this year, among other sports as well, due to, of course, student body population for the Wildcats. This is their first year in AA, and right now they are the team to beat. But if you come across a Gateway boys team that gets hot, Mars, of course, is also pretty good. Seton LaSalle has been giving a lot of teams fits as well. So really, it's anybody's game here in the WPIAL playoffs. Of course, the finals will take place at Robert Morris later on this month. As this one into the net, the pipe ball for Kiesel is not over the net. The point for Gateway. Served over. Touched over. Kept up. And then pushed over by Gateway. Nice play from a couple players for the Gators. To the right side. Cross court. And that's Eric Bisignani that gets the point for the Wildcats. Served over in the air, passed up, and a free ball sent over from number 9, Chase Anthony. Into the middle, Ward, kept up though. Hoffner off the block, Kuipers there for it on the coverage. Into the net though, unfortunately, for Pasalinkwa, and a point for the Wildcats, excuse me. Latrobe has never won a WPIAL title. They've come close several times. Last year they were the 10 seed in the Class 3A playoffs, fell to the 7 seed. Back into the air for Pasalinkwa. That one outside the lines and a point. No correction, it is going to be a touch call. The line judges both calling touch. So the line judge calling touch. Bisignani not happy with that call, but not going to argue it. 3-2 as Hoffner serves that one, but into the net though, unfortunately for him. Point for the Wildcats, 6-3. Bisignani will serve. Sent over, too strong from him though. And Pasalinkwa will serve. Pasalinkwa's serve to the right side, and that's Nelson who gets the point Tyler Nelson off the block of the Gateway Gators. For Latrobe. Served over. Touched from Farrar, and Farrar gets the point. Darius Farrar's had a pretty good game for the Gators. Pretty good match for him. Trying to will his team back as well here in this one. 7-5 off the block. Dunsmore gets the block, but it's covered by Kiesel. To the right side, Kuiper on the pass. Farrar, big block, but it's not down. That was Ward and Havrilla both there on the block for Latrobe. It almost seemed like they swung their arms just trying to put something on that. And the force from Farrar's swing sent it also way back behind that line. Havrilla gets that one into the air, but it's off Kuiper. Dropping that one too far was Gateway. Point for the Wildcats. Served over off the tape. Echegaray is there for it on the pass. Dunsmore passed up again. Big swing from Hansman. He's blocked, but kept up by Kuiper. Great play from Gateway to keep that one alive. Marino, Kuiper's there for it again. Farrar, big swing. It's still up from Farrar. Dunsmore gets a piece of it, and it's unfortunate. Two touch from him, a double from Dunsmore, and I know it's a middle and an exciting play right there. You're so anxious to get a point, so anxious to be part of that one, but Dunsmore's got to let that one go. Farrar, that one is not called yet, and the refs are going to talk it over now. There were a lot of things that happened at that time. Farrar was in the net. The ball was off of a player. They thought it was off the Wildcats. And it is going to be off the Wildcats. Before Farrar was in the net, if Farrar was even in the net, that might have been off the ball instead. So 9-7 Wildcats. Kuiper will serve. Too far from Kuiper. We asked the team in black, ball don't lie. And Havrilla will serve. Havrilla for the Gators, or for the Wildcats, excuse me, as Hoffner gets the point. Hoffner having a friendly back and forth with Marino. Served over by Farrar. Sent over. Havrilla, nice play from him. And they get the point. Havrilla, Marino, and Nelson all committed to St. Vincent College to play volleyball next year. For them, big swing though from Pasalinkwa, and he gets the point. Noah Pasalinkwa for Gateway. Hansman sends the serve over. It's tight on the net, Marino. Big jump from Marino, but he couldn't put it down. Too aggressive there from Gateway, and out of play. Point for the Wildcats, 12-9. Served over. Hoffner, too strong on that one. Served over by Marino. Outside. Kept up by Pasalinkwa. Hoffner, big swing. They've got Hoffner in the middle here for the Gators. Kuiper gets a piece of that one. That's going to be a double on Hansman. And Hansman a little frustrated himself. That's the right call there. Just couldn't cleanly set that one. Right idea, just not clean on it. Marino will serve. Sent over. Nice play, though, to keep that one alive by the Wildcats. To the backside. Dropping that one in, though, is number 10, Aiden Coffrin, and Coffrin gets the point. Coffrin with the serve, or excuse me, Hoffner with the serve, and it's kept alive. Great play, that's Chase Anthony and Pasalinkwa, and they get the point. Incredible hustle from Pasalinkwa and Chase Anthony, and then Hoffner gets to it as well. And just might be what Gateway needed here in this third set. 14-11 though, as Hoffner will serve it again. Passed up by Rojas, into the middle. Hoffner, a nice dig. Pasalinkwa off the block, they get the point. And the bench is fired up for the Gators. Gateway trying to use the momentum. And Ryan Hoffner will serve. It's passed up by Havrilla. Outside, pushed over. Pasalinkwa was there for it on the coverage. Pasalinkwa back to him, though, and into the net, point for the Wildcats. Served over again. Anthony on the pass. Big swing from Dunsmore. The windmill approach from Alec Dunsmore. And he gets the point. Pasalinkwa will serve. 15-13. Served over. Kept up into the right side, excuse me, and they get the point. That's Tyler Nelson for the Wildcats. Nelson serves it over. Overpass kept up, though. On the coverage from Hansman after the big swing from the Wildcats. Farrar gets the point for Gateway. Darius Farrar and the crew. A beautiful up from Will Hansman. Denying Owen Ward. Trying to clean up the overpass. This one just bumped over by Kiesel. Hansman on the set. Dunsmore out of system, or not, I shouldn't say out of system, they're out of the spot there. Set a little bit behind Alec Dunsmore, and Owen Ward will serve. Ward sends it over. It's passed up by Kuiper. Outside, Farrar. Farrar gets that one down. The thump of that swing from him, I think he hit off his fingertips and just landed perfectly for them. Now Latrobe, they're stacked on the left side, trying to side out here. 17-15. Outside Kiesel. Kuiper gets that one, kept up by Farrar, and then sent over. And that one's out of play. It's a point for Gateway. Aiden Coffrin rolling it over, but the dig from Kuiper. Farrar there as well, off the net. And Kuiper will serve. It's a 1-point third set here. Kuiper serves this one over. Outside Kiesel, off the arm of number 10, Coffrin, and Sam Kiesel quieting the home crowd there momentarily. Josh Havrilla will serve. Havrilla's serve, passed up by Coffrin. Hoffner off the block. Farrar is there for it, and they set up on offense. Hoffner, though, denied. solo block. It's Rocco Marino over there for the Wildcats. Coffrin passes that one up. Farrar tips it, couldn't be put up by Marino. Point for Darius Farrar and the Gators as he earns himself the serve. Farrar sends it over, passed up to the right side, off the tip of the block, and Sam Kiesel gets that point. Latrobe has reached 20 here in this third set, excuse me. 20-17. Served over, passed up, outside, off the block, and that's Pasalinquo gets the point for the Gators. 20-18. Served over by Hansman. To the right side, Marino with the kill. Rocco Marino, a quick set and a quick kill for him. 21-18. And the senior runs up to serve. Jump float serve, passed up by Anthony. Pasalinquo has to push it over. Tough set for him. Cross court, Pasalinquo's there for it. Hansman with the set. Pasalinquo, but that's going to be a net violation on Latrobe. 25 in the net, specifically, that's Eric Bisignani. And Ryan Hoffner will serve. Hoffner serves it over, it's passed up. To the right side, pushed over. Kept up by Chase Anthony, and then it's the kill for Alec Dunsmore. In the middle, Dunsmore getting the point, 21-20. It's a one-point set here. The Wildcats win it, it's over. Gateway, if they take this third set, they'll force a fourth. Do or die for the Gators here. As we approach the end of the set, passed up to the outside. Kept up, though, by Gateway. That was Chase Anthony. Off the block, kept up by Hoffner. To the right side. That one is a point for Gateway. It's Aiden Coffrin. And just like that, it's tied at 21 apiece here in this third set. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I was about to say Drew Vasevsky has yet to take a timeout, but he will here. 21 apiece is the Wildcats taking a timeout. Here in this one. So Gateway looking to force some fourth set magic here as we have the Section 3 standings here in WPIAL Class 2A. Seton LaSalle 9-1. South Fayette with a 9-1 record as well. TJ, the Jaguars, 7-3. And then it falls down to Trinity at 5-5. South Park, the Eagles at 4-6. And a rough year for Keystone Oaks and Steel Valley, both 1-10 in their section. 21 apiece, we're back underway, and it's a block! Aiden Coffrin and Alec Dunsmore on the block for Gateway, and they have the lead here in this third set. A huge block for the Gators. Hoffner served over, passed by Kiesel, but not a good pass, and then rolled over by Nelson. Pasalinquo played, but it's out of play as the roof there for the Wildcats. Getting them the point, and 22 apiece now here in this third set. Served over off the arm of Hansman. That's a tough set from Coffrin, but it's pushed over. Hansman gets a piece of that one, and here comes Latrobe back on offense. down the line and inside the line. Josh Havrilla for the Wildcats, handling business himself, and then a 1-point lead now for Latrobe. Bisignani serves. Coffrin gets to it. Chase Anthony just has to push it over. The Wildcats on offense. Off the block, kept up by Hansman. Pasalinqua. Kiesel's there for it. Bisignani on the set. Outside. Block down. Another block. It's Dunsmore this time, along with Coffrin for the Gators. 23 apiece here in this third set. Both teams trying to push for two. Served over. High serve, passed up by Kiesel. Outside, Havrilla, passed up though by Kuiper. Into the middle, Dunsmore, and Dunsmore could not put that one down. And it's now match point for the Wildcats. Echegare will be back into the back row for Gateway. Tyler Nelson will serve. Match point for the Wildcats. Served over. Passed up by Kuiper. Into the middle, Dunsmore trying to make up for it, but he gets that one passed up by the Wildcats. Off the block, kept up though. Outside, Kiesel pushes it over. Farrar with the big swing in the chill. Darius Farrar, and we have extra volleyball here in the third set. Coffrin will serve, 24 apiece, and nobody there for the Wildcats. It's an ace for Coffrin. And now it's set point, Gateway. What a turn of events. Served over again, Kiesel gets to that one. To the right side, passed up by Kuiper. Farrar just rolls it over, Kiesel. Kept up by Kuiper. Farrar with the swing off the block, but he gets his own block coverage. Jousting at the net. Kept up, though, by Gateway. Farrar again. Off the block, and they get the point. Darius Farrar and the Gators have won the third set, and they are still alive here in this one. A red and a yellow card have both been drawn for the Gators. I assume it's for the bench coming onto the court. Head coach Phil Randolph is going to have to talk things over. So a yellow and a red card have both been drawn here against Gateway. Many of you might be wondering, well, what does a yellow and a red card do in a volleyball match? Well, I'll give that to you, give the exact wording for you in a second. So yellow cards are issued in less serious offenses such as verbal abuse or physical contact. A red card means a player has been ejected from the game. That's usually the case, but we'll see what it is this time, because there are different penalties for red and yellow, or for high school volleyball versus regulation Olympics and club level volleyball as well. But a yellow and a red at the same time usually means an expulsion of a player until the end of the set. Now the question is, it was the end of the set. So I don't know how that necessarily gets awarded. According to FIVB Rule 21.3.2.1, a team player who is sanctioned by expulsion shall not play for the rest of the set, must be substituted legally and immediately if on the court, and remain seated in the penalty area with no other consequences. Expelled coach loses his or her right to intervene in the set and must remain in the penalty area. If some player keeps affecting the principal intentionally, the referee does not want to see them until the end of the set. I don't know exactly what is going to occur, because usually that just happens during a set. But we'll see what happens coming into this fourth set. So the R1 talking things over with Aiden Coffrin, who is designated as the setter. So usually the setter is the one that they talk to in this situation. We're underway here. Fourth set between Gateway and Latrobe here on Gateway Gators Productions. And the first point goes to the Wildcats. Good block from the Wildcats is 24 and 25. Marino and Bisignani. Into the middle, Hoffner, big swing, and the Wildcats didn't know where that ball was. Point for Gateway. First point of the fourth set, Ryan Hoffner with that one. Served over, passed up to the right side, Kiesel. Not gonna be able to get to that one. Thomas Naiku, who had served for the Gators. 2-1, Wildcats. Last time these two teams squared off was on April 13th. The Wildcats took that one 3-0. It was a sweep in Latrobe, PA. This time, at the very least, Gateway has swiped a set away from them. As the fourth set here and too strong from Sam Kiesel. Served over, into the air. Sent over though, Havrilla with the point. Josh Havrilla running on two there. Sending it over for the point for the Wildcats, 4-2. 2-1 lead here in this fourth set. Marino served over, passed up to the outside off the block, swiping that one up, and they're not going to be able to send that one over. The Wildcats. Point for Gateway. Noah Pasalinkwa gets himself the serve. Pasalinkwa, one of two seniors on this squad. This one tipped into the air by the Wildcats. Pushed back over, and it's number 10, Aiden Coffrin, the freshman for Gateway, getting the point. Pasalinkwa will serve. Kiesel in the middle, Ward. Outside, Farrar, blocked down, big block by Signani and Ward, both over there for the block. Signani has earned himself the serve. Echigari comes back in for the Gators. Farrar and Dunsmore in the front row as well. Rojas, nice play from him, the libero. Relatively quiet here in this one, Rojas. Pushed over from Dunsmore. No look behind the head Farrar, and Farrar gets the point. Darius Farrar for Gateway. The bench yelling tool time as he tools the block on that one. Served over to the right side, off the block, and it's a point for Tyler Nelson. Nelson serves this one over. Echegari. Farrar underneath of that one. Point for the Wildcats. Big swing. Sent over. But out of play, and it's a point for 26 for the Gators. Thomas Nyko. Nyko, the sophomore setter for the Gators. To the outside, Kiesel off the block, kept up though by Havrilla. Kiesel again. Punched into the air, Havrilla pushes it over, but Farrar is there for it. They go back over to Farrar, off the block and out of play. Point for the Gators. 7-7 here in this fourth set. Outside, off the block. Tipped. Dropping it in. Yes, they do. 8-7. Wildcats. Here in this fourth set, final week of the year in WPIAL volleyball regular season, as this one kept up by Hoffner, and then Kuiper has to send it over. In the middle, Marino, Kuiper's there for it, bounces off the curtain, and then Echegari tries to roll that one over, cannot though. Point for the Wildcats. Into the net from Owen Ward, a point for Gateway. Farrar looking to tie it up here with one serve. 9-8. Farrar sends that one into the net though. Service error for him. Havrilla will serve. Outside, Pasalinqua. Back into the air from Bisignani. Kiesel too far on that one for Kiesel. Point for the Gators. Thomas Nyku serves. Kept up. Nice play from Chase Anthony. Pasalinqua, Kuiper, and Kuiper had his hands open there because he didn't know that Pasalinqua was or wasn't going to go for it. And last second, had to swing at that one. Served over, Kuiper. Outside, Pasalinqua off the block, kept up though. Another one off the block, kept up by Marino. Havrilla to the right side. Jousting at the net. That's still playing, still legal. Havrilla again on the set. Marino pushes that with two hands and he gets the point. A weird one there for Rocco Marino, but nothing to blow the whistle for, and inside the line, so the Wildcats get the point. Kiesel with the serve. Pasalinqua off the block. Kept up by Havrilla. Bisignani blocked. Kiesel again. Nelson. Anthony on the pass. Rolled over by Coffrin. Block, kept up though, that's Ward. By Signani off speed, kept up, Keegan Kuiper, nice play. And the rally still continues. Rolled over again, and this one into the air. Bounces off the roof, and it's a double hit. A lift on Aiden Coffrin. More or less a carry when he's trying to set that ball. Holding on to it for too long. 13-9. Wildcats serve. Pasalinqua off the block. Kept up by Hoffner. Off his leg. What a play. Rolled over by Signani, and he drops that one in. Chase Anthony kicking himself for letting that one go. 14-9. Wildcats leading here in this fourth set. Passed up by Anthony to the outside. Pasalinqua, and they get the point. Noah Pasalinqua for the Gators. And Hoffner will serve. Hoffner sends it over. Outside, too far on that one from Tyler Nelson. Point for the Gators. Served again to the right side. Marino looking for 10-foot line there from Rocco Marino. Big kill from the senior. 15-11 now. Float serve, passed up, rolls off of Dunsmore. Not the best touch from Chase Anthony. And a point for the Wildcats is Marino credited for the ace. 16-11. Pushed over again, Dunsmore blocked straight down the solo block. Owen Ward for the Wildcats. 17-11 now, as Marino will continue to serve. Marino serves it over. Outside, Pasalinqua into the air from Kiesel. Rolled over, Kuiper is there. Could not get to that one though, Nyko, and that one is a point for the Wildcats. A timeout will be taken by the Gators. 18-11. In this one is Philip Randolph, the head coach for Gateway, trying to collect his team here, and still some time left in this fourth set. Again, it's still do or die though for the Gators. Last set they did do, and they won it in a nail biter, 26-24, a comeback for the Gators to force this fourth set. Rocco Marino will serve. Marino serve into the net though. They ice the server. And a point for the Gators. Served over, passed up by Rojas, the libero. Outside, and they get the point. Tyler Nelson tools the block. 19-12. Served over off the fingertips of Kuiper. Pushed over. Rojas was there for it to the right side, and that one is off of Kuiper. And is that legal? Yes, it is, because it hit the roof. It didn't hit the back wall. So it's still playable for Latrobe. Echegare will let that one drop, and that's a heads-up play from the sophomore, number 1 for Gateway. Went off the arms of Kuiper, but because it hit the roof and not the back wall, recognizing he could still play that one. Gateway earns himself the point, 19-13 though, and down the line. Avrillo will have none of that as he puts that one down, and Latrobe is at 20 points here in this 4th set. Served over. Farrar, tough play. Kept alive though, and just tipped over. It's outside the line though from Thomas Nyko. And a point for the Wildcats. Nelson serve. That one goes off the shoulder of a player, specifically Aiden Coffrin, and then it's cleaned up by Owen Ward. That was a weird sequence of events there, but 22-13 now. Latrobe in the driver's seat looking for their 8th victory of the year, and they get it for the aces. Nelson, I should say, dropping that one in. And they're now 2 points away from this match victory. Nelson will serve, spins that one. Echegare will pass it up. Farrar off the block, it rolls onto the side of Gateway. Nyko couldn't track that one down, and now it's match point number 1 for the Wildcats. Big serve. Echegare passes that one. Tipped by Kiesel. Back over from Ward. That one's still in the ceiling, though. Farrar sends over a free ball. The Wildcats looking to finish it off. Echegare, passes that up. Miscommunication for Vrilla has to send it over. Dunsmore. Dunsmore again, and Dunsmore keeps the Gators alive. 24-14. Still alive, barely breathing here in this match. Match point number 2 for the Wildcats, but Keegan Kuiper will serve. In the air from Kiesel. Kiesel rolled off the block, it's dropped down from Hoffner. And Hoffner gets the point for the Gators, 24-15. Kuiper will serve again, match point number 3 for the Wildcats. Outside Kiesel. Kiesel finishes it off. And that is the match here at Gateway High School. Greater Latrobe, the Wildcats, the number 1 team ranked in AA WPIAL 2A standings. They currently sit in 2nd, depending on the results of the Mars Fighting Planets match this afternoon against Derry. For Gateway, they drop now to 6-3 in the standings. Latrobe goes to 8-1. All of these teams, both these teams, are qualified for the WPIAL playoffs, so we'll be seeing the results of the later games to come, not only this week, but next week as well, as playoffs will get started. But that will be our last broadcast here for the 2022-2023 season. Once again, real quick, just want to give a thank you to everyone who has participated in a broadcast here for Gateway Gators Productions, and for all of you for tuning in throughout this season. For our entire broadcasting crew, our producer Adam Gusky, our director Lee Schaefer, the Schaefer and Gusky family, I'm Spencer Witt saying so long. Latrobe takes this one by a score of 3-1. They win it 25-20, 25-12, 24-26, and 25-15. I'm Spencer Witt saying so long and good night, everybody.